Making way for the evening news coming up well, not exactly right now, in about 1 minute time. It's 1 minute to the hour of 6 o'clock. Compliments of the good folks at Caribbean Alliance. Have you called Caribbean Alliance as yet? No? What you waiting for? Yes, you are talking to. You watching the radio, but pick up the phone, give Caribbean Alliance a call, alright? Seriously, yeah? I'm just telling you that. And for all your medical testing needs, check out my wonderful friends at La Falaise.
La Falaise Medical Laboratory, my preferred choice for professional and confidential medical laboratory services. La Falaise provides results for all medical tests. If it can't be done there, they will facilitate it through their international partners. Their main office in Roseau is open from 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Mondays to Fridays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Home visits and emergency services are also available. Call 448-0100, WhatsApp 276-5213 or visit any of their other locations. Picard in Portsmouth, Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Marigot, Mondays and Wednesdays, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Or Grand Bay, every first and third Thursday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. La Falaise Medical Laboratory, my choice, your choice, our choice.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, Dominica ranks as one of the leading nations in the world for combating financial crimes. In news from the region, the Inter-American Development Bank reports regional economic growth returning to stable historical averages. And internationally, UK could lower US car tariffs in push for trade deal. Good evening, I am Leila Lang for details of the news when we return.
Too often, customers are counted but not valued, like mere numbers, statistics, transactions. But at Flow, we're prioritizing you, our valued customers who have been with us through every milestone, every moment. That's why we're putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers claim up to $400 in rewards for smartphones, groceries, and more when you add mobile to your current internet plan. Because loyalty isn't a one-way street. At Flow, loyalty flows both ways.
DBS News.
Welcome back. Making the headline this evening, Dominica has been ranked as one of the leading nations in the world for combating financial crimes. Hassan Robinson reports.
Dominica is one of 3 Caribbean countries ranked amongst the leading nations in the world for combating financial crime. The other 2 countries are St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which is ranked 14th, and Barbados at 19th out of 177 countries on the inaugural 2025 Secretariat Economic Crime Index published earlier this month. Finland tops the index. Dominica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Barbados are in the Transparent Titans top tier of the SECI, as stated in the Global Financial and Economic Crime Outlook 2025 report from the Secretariat. This classification reflects their levels of transparency, the effectiveness of their anti-crime frameworks, and their overall exposure to economic crime. The second tier, named Vigilant Players, includes countries such as St. Lucia, ranked 30th, Grenada, 34th, the Bahamas, 39th, Trinidad and Tobago, 55th, Cuba, 70th, and Jamaica, 73rd. The Secretariat noted that these countries actively implement and evolve measures to address financial crimes and improve regulatory frameworks, thereby strengthening their systems against emergency risks. Meanwhile, Guyana, ranked 93rd, is categorized as reactive reformer, which includes countries exhibiting weak anti-crime frameworks, significant regulatory gaps, and a higher prevalence of high-risk activities. These nations face challenges in effectively combating financial crimes due to insufficient regulatory measures.
Our thanks to Hassan Robinson for that report. Pro-Vice Chancellor and Principal of the UWI Global Campus, Dr. Francis Severin, has told Dominican educators that they need to pay attention to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Dr. Severin's comments came at the 23rd Annual General Meeting of the Dominica Association of Teachers at Goodwill Parish Hall this morning. He says teachers are key to the success of the Sustainable Development Goals.
Goal 1 aims to end poverty in all its forms, everywhere. This, my dear teachers, represents your raison d'etre, the very essence of your profession as teachers. Everything you do is ultimately geared towards lifting our people out of that dreaded state. Poverty is the fundamental root of desperation, which causes societal ills such as crime and delinquency. Goal 2 aims to end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture by 2030. Goal 3 aims to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. Goal 4 aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. This SDG is directly related to you as teachers and demonstrates the interconnectedness of all 17 goals. Goal 5 aims to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Gender equality is a basic human right which is daily violated with impunity.
Dr. Severin said access to affordable energy for all should also be a responsibility of the Dominican educator.
Sustainable energy is a crucial enabler and significantly improves the quality, accessibility, and reliability of services that children rely on for their survival, development, and well-being. This is your business as teachers. You must reject anyone who says to you that advocating for their or for better conditions for our young citizens, your students, is politically driven. Tell them you're minding your legitimate business as teachers. Goal 8 aims to promote inclusive and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Here is another SDG that, with your improved self-efficacy and teamwork, you can contribute to in ways that are imponderable and priceless. Goal 10 aims to reduce inequality within and among countries. Your role as educators is to fully grasp the power in your hands to reduce inequalities, whether based on age, gender, ethnic or racial group, disability status, sexual orientation. Goal 13 aims to combat climate change and its impacts by taking urgent action.
Pro-Vice Chancellor and Principal of the UWI Global Campus, Dr. Francis Severin. Prime Minister of Dominica, Roosevelt Skerrit, is leading a delegation to the Caribbean Investment Summit, which is taking place from April 22nd to 26th in Antigua and Barbuda. The Caribbean Investment Summit is the region's premier forum on investment migration, convening political leaders, executives from Citizenship by Investment CBI's jurisdictions, marketing agencies, service providers, industry leaders, and other stakeholders. It serves as a platform for collaboration, knowledge exchange, and strategic partnerships aimed at advancing the CBI industry. This year's summit will be held under the theme Integrity, Stability, Sustainability, CBI Pathway to Economic Prosperity. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit is accompanied to the summit by Dennis Edwards, Financial Secretary, Missy Henderson, Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Marie-Therese Johnson, Director of the CBI Unit, and Mackelson Farrell, Director of the Financial Intelligence Unit. During the Prime Minister's absence from the state, Dr. Irving McIntyre, Minister for Finance, Economic Development, Climate Resilience, and Social Security, will serve as acting Prime Minister. In other news, the Dominica Association of Teachers has recognized retired principal of Roseau Primary, Sarah Abraham, for her 34 years of service. She was among 4 long-serving educators recognized at the association's 23rd annual general meeting.
Miss Sarah Abraham, fondly called Miss Abraham, is an experienced educator with a remarkable career spanning 34 years in the field of teaching. Throughout this extensive period, she has imparted knowledge across various educational levels, including kindergarten, primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions. Ms. Abraham holds a Bachelor of Education degree with honors from the University of the West Indies, showcasing her commitment to academic excellence. Furthering her expertise in educational leadership, she obtained a master's degree in supervision and leadership with distinction from the University of the West Indies. Ms. Abraham is a member of both Dominica Reading Association and White Kubuli Writers Association. With a wealth of experience and a strong academic foundation, Ms. Abraham continues to be an influential figure in education, committed to nurturing the minds of future generations through innovative teaching practices and curriculum development. Ms. Abraham retired as principal of the Roseau Primary School.
Public Relations Officer of the DAT, Juanita Carbon. Other retired teachers recognized today were Vinely Patricia Christopher, a pioneer in early childhood education, who opened the first preschool in Bells in 1986, Clifton Michael Roy, and Nazarene William Teat of Granby for 37 years service. She is currently a doctoral candidate at the New Mexico State University. Public Relations Officer of the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation, Rhoda St. John, says waste management in Dominica will return to normalcy over the next few days. A lack of trucks has badly affected collection in the various communities. St. John says the corporation is to receive assistance from several stakeholders.
We've had challenges with trucks, but we've gotten external assistance. We have the assistance from the government entities, and now we are doing a better pickup collection in terms of the community seeing their garbage is being picked up, and we're almost back to regular scheduling where the truck will go back to the schedule to pick up garbage in the various communities. As we've said before, and as we have the schedule put together, they will go back to proper scheduling. We're getting support from the government entities such as local government, public works, ODM, and we're also getting private haulers who are assisting us in collecting of the garbage, especially in the Portsmouth area. It will be regularized and you'll see a better form of garbage collection and pickup.
Public Relations Officer of the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation, Rhoda St. John. Dominica will host for the first time the annual Regional Compliance Summit. The 2-day summit, which is set to bring together regional and international experts in finance, will open up tomorrow at the State House Conference Room. This year's summit will be held under the theme Shaping the Future of Compliance in the Region.
This year's annual Regional Compliance Summit is about more than just presentations and panel discussions. It's about action. And we're proud to say that our main objective is to deepen regional collaboration on compliance, governance, and financial integrity. Here, we are bringing together regulators, financial institutions, international experts, frontline practitioners to strengthen our collective capacity in combating financing crime, fostering transparency, and building resilient institutions. Through this summit, we hope to shape practical solutions, encourage innovation, and promote a compliance culture that truly works for us, not only in Dominica, but in the wider Caribbean. The goal is very clear: to not only meet international standards, but to lead the way in the region by setting regional best practices.
Chair of the 2025 Annual Regional Compliance Summit, Phoenix Belfield. On the feature segment of the DBS Evening News, we visit the small fishing community of Scotshead. When one speaks about fishing in Scotshead, the name Shaba Caesar comes to the fore. He says he has built a life from fishing. Shaba Caesar is our feature on the DBS Evening News.
I started fishing about 15 years old. I'm 45 years old now, and I'm still in the business. I see fishing as my life, and I see a way out in fishing. I can take care of my family. I can do whatever I have to do to take care of myself on my fishing.
How many people do you impact in terms of people who come to you, people you sell to? How many people do you see on a daily basis?
To be honest, I have a lot of customers. Sometimes I don't even have enough fish to supply my customers. Because a lot of people depend on me for their fish. Not even in my village alone, in town also. Because I sell at the fish market with my wife. My wife also do fish vending too at the market, at the fish market in Roseau. I've never traded that for anything else. I do everything in fishing. I do spear fishing, I do net fishing, I do fat fishing, I do mahi fishing, I do all type of fishing. Just name it.
Scotshead is known as a fishing community. How has it changed, let's say, after Hurricane Maria? How has that changed in Scotshead?
Scotshead had bounced back very well in terms of fishing in after Maria, because after Maria, when you come to Scotshead, it's like you see something pass in the area. See the number of boats that there right now. After Maria, it's just a few. It was my boat and two other guys that had their boat. All the other boats had mashed up. My boat had little damage, but because I know a little thing how to fix back my boat, I do what I had to do to put back myself on my feet. But some people now couldn't do like me. So they had to wait until they get help and things. But I had to do what I had to do, buy what I had to buy to repair my boat and get back myself on my feet. What I'll say to the fishermen, you just have to be focused in what you like, in what you love. If you love that as your profession, you have to be focused and keep chasing your goal. If you know you love that as your profession, you just have to keep chasing your goal and God will do the rest for you. I would like to see more young, because people know what people used to think. Like fishing is like uneducated people's job. You can invest big time in fishing. Fishing can be a big impact in your life. You understand? Because I build my house on fishing. I buy my vehicle on fishing. I took my loan, I buy my boat, I do everything I have to do to survive on fishing. And besides fishing, I have no other side job, nothing doing, it's just fishing steady, every day, from Monday to Friday. Saturday in the fish market. Sunday is God's own.
Scotshead fisherman Shaba Caesar on the DBS Evening News as our feature. That's the national focus, regional and international developments up next.
Too often, customers are counted but not valued. Like mere numbers, statistics, transactions. But at Flow, we're prioritizing you, our valued customers who have been with us through every milestone, every moment. That's why we're putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers claim up to $400 in rewards for smartphones, groceries, and more when you add mobile to your current internet plan. Because loyalty isn't a one-way street. At Flow, loyalty flows both ways.
DBS News.
In news from the region, the Inter-American Development Bank has announced that economic growth in Latin America and the Caribbean has returned to more stable historical averages since the COVID-19 pandemic. It noted that the region grew 2% in 2024, exceeding initial forecast of 1.7% and is expected to grow 2.3% in 2025. It said countries in the region should therefore focus on boosting productivity while reducing socio-economic inequalities and maintaining macroeconomic stability. And internationally, Chancellor Rachel Reeves has signaled the UK could lower tariffs on US car imports as she tries to broker a trade deal with the Donald Trump administration. Reeves said she wants to see tariff and non-tariff barriers reduced between the UK and the US. The UK is seeking to lower trade taxes imposed by President Donald Trump of 25% for cars, steel and aluminum and 10% on other British exports. That's news, the DBS Evening Sports Report. Up next.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
Welcome to the DBS Evening Sports Report. Chair of CARICOM and Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley says the athletes who competed at the 2025 CARIFTA Games are beacons of hope for the region. The CARIFTA Games, which were held in Trinidad and Tobago, saw a number of athletes from across the region competing in various track and field events. Mottley commended the Barbados team for their representation at the Games.
Every so often, a moment comes along that lifts the spirit of a nation. Over this past weekend, that moment was gifted to us by our young athletes at the 2025 CARIFTA Games in Trinidad and Tobago. From the lanes in the pool to the lanes on the track, they gave us more than medals. They gave us hope. They reminded us of who we are and what we can do when we dig deep, work hard, and support one another. These boys and girls punched above their weight. When their backs were against the wall, they did not buckle, they rose. Barbados got the 4th largest amount of medals overall in track and field, a remarkable feat, and indeed our best showing in nearly a decade. In the pool, our swimmers made waves of their own, delivering podium finishes that left no doubt about our talent and our potential. I don't want to leave anyone out. Every single athlete who represented our flag did so with pride, and we're proud of all of you. However, it would be remiss of me not to call the names of some who truly lit up the stadiums. Jaden Green's blistering run in the 200-meter secured gold and etched his name in the history books. Tion Haynes medaled in the long jump with composure and class. Kaija Eastman and Heidi Stout turned the water into their stage, swimming their hearts out and collecting medals in the process. And our 4x100-meter relay team showed us the power of teamwork and trust. These athletes, my friends, are blessings and ambassadors of our great nation.
The CARICOM chair called on Barbadians to celebrate the success of young athletes.
In a world where headlines can often focus on what's going wrong, they remind us of what's going right. They are proof that the light of this country still burns brightly in the hearts of its young people. Let us uplift that light. Let us celebrate it. Let us support it, not just this week, but every day going forward. Let us stay focused and work on the goals that we have set individually and nationally. To all our CARIFTA athletes, you have done more than win. You have inspired. As Prime Minister, I say to you and your families and coaches, thank you. Thank you for showing us the best of who we are and the boldness of who we can be. And I want to say thank you to our administrators and to our clubs and schools. Your support and your strategic repositioning of the ecosystem necessary for success are all critical to our being the best that we can be. With all our love and pride, we salute you and urge you, stay focused. You can do it. We shall do it.
Chair of the Caribbean Community CARICOM and Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley. Zimbabwe beat Bangladesh by 3 wickets in an exciting finish on the 4th day of the first test in Sylhet to go 1-0 up in the 2-match series. It was Zimbabwe's 5th overseas test victory, which came after they completed their highest successful chase in the 4th innings. It was also their first win in the last 11 tests. Zimbabwe will now seek a series victory in the second and final test beginning on Monday, 28th April. Final scores were Zimbabwe 273 and 174 for 7 and Bangladesh 191 and 255. In other sports this evening, the 2025 Dominica Amateur Basketball Association season officially gets underway tonight with the 2025 Knockout Cup. 8 Premier Division teams and 10 Division 1 teams will take part in the pre-season Knockout Cup. The first game tonight gets underway at 7 p.m.
The DABA Knockout Cup gets underway at the Massac Indoor Facilities. And the Knockout Cup basically is set up for where everybody plays, get an opportunity to play everybody. It's an open bracket where the first division and the premier teams are all mixed, and then they play each other for a finals that is supposed to last about 2.5 weeks of basketball. Tonight we'll have a very short opening ceremony and we'll go right into the games. We have 2 games scheduled, so that starts off the tournament right away. And the first game is at 7 p.m. and the second game will take place at 9. Following that, there will be games every night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and a couple games also scheduled for Sunday evenings. The aim of having this Knockout Cup to basically get teams geared up for the National League, which will commence the week after this all culminates. So that's the plan. We have 8 Premier Division teams and 10 Division 1 teams so far registered at 18 teams, and that's going to make up the pool. And hopefully 2.5 weeks from now, we'll have a knockout champion. Well, tomorrow evening, the first game will be between us and Real-Time Ballers. That game starts at 7 p.m. And that will be followed by the second match between the PSC Falcons Division 2 and the Detroit Blazers Division 2 teams. So these are the 4 teams engaged tomorrow evening. And again, the action continues on Thursday. So initially, these 4 teams will kick off the playing tournament tomorrow. The knockout champions get a prize money of $1,500, same as we did last year. And that will hopefully, the aim here is really to get teams ready, to give teams not limp into the league, but be more prepared for the league. So this tournament kind of, lights a fire and builds some excitement, because you most likely play people in that tournament that you will not play in the regular season. But the prize money is $1,500 for the winning team.
President of the Dominica Amateur Basketball Association, Donnie Robinson. The Jamaica under-15s pulled off a 10-wicket win over Windward Islands under-15s in the West Indies Rising Stars under-15s championship in Antigua. Windward Islands under-15s won the toss and elected to bat first. They were bowled out for 86 in 26 overs. Jamie Wickham was the top run scorer for Windward Islands with 42. Bowling for Jamaica, Andrew Lloyd had figures of 4 for 25. In reply, it took only 12.2 overs for Jamaica under-15s to get their target total of 87 runs. Meanwhile, Trinidad and Tobago under-15s won by 6 wickets over Leeward Islands under-15s. Nicholas Puran was named as the leading T20 player in the world in the 2025 edition of the Wisden Cricketers' Almanac, which was published on Tuesday. Meantime, Jasprit Bumrah, India's all-formats fast bowler, was hailed as the leading men's cricketer in the world. Bumrah, who capped his performances in 2024 by becoming the first Test bowler in history to claim 200 wickets at an average of less than 20 each, is described by Wisden's editor Lawrence Booth as quite simple the star of the year. In total, he claimed 71 Test wickets at less than 15 each, while also bowling India to glory in the T20 World Cup in the Caribbean in June. The Wisden Trophy for the year's outstanding performance went to New Zealand's Mitchell Starner. This year's almanac also saluted James Anderson, who retired from Test cricket in July after 21 years and an England record of 704 wickets. That's all we end the DBS Evening Sports Report and News on behalf of the News and Sports Departments and our link person, Joseph Fadul. I am Leila Langford saying good evening.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
Good evening and welcome to the evening edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It's the 23rd day of April 2025. We begin with this evening's edition of the DBS Radio death announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. We announce the death of Paul Anthony Brown, age 74. He died on Thursday, the 20th of March in Miami, Florida. He was predeceased in death by his wife, Shemaine Green Brown. He will be remembered by his daughters Tanya and Tiffany Brown, Dr. Shakira Henderson and her husband Centel Sentemi, and his son Kyle Brown. His granddaughter Anastasia Brown, siblings Fitzroy, Althea, Donald and Philip Brown. Many other extended family members and friends across the globe, names too numerous to mention. The body of the late Paul Anthony Brown can be viewed from 9:30 a.m. on Saturday, the 26th of April at the Cathedral Chapel of Our Lady of Fairhaven. The funeral mass will take place at 10 a.m. and will be followed by interment at the family's mausoleum at Mount Daniel. We announce the death of Angela Loda, better known as Angel of Boetica. She died on Friday, the 14th of March at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. She was the mother of Romana St. John, Magdalene Louis, and Anne Nettie Loda. She will also be remembered by her sisters, Annette Wallace, Joan and Julia Vigilant, her sons-in-law, Oliver St. John and Aldrich Louis, her grandchildren, great-grandchildren, nieces and nephews, the community of Boetica, especially the neighbors of Baud-la-Mer. The funeral mass for the late Angela Loda, better known as Angel of Boetica, will take place at 10 a.m. on Thursday, the 24th of April at the Boetica Chapel and will be followed by interment at the La Plaine Catholic Cemetery. We announce the death of Lucian Francis, better known as Magdo and Magdalene Francis, age 93, of St. Joseph, who resided at the Dominica Infirmary. She died on Wednesday, the 9th of April at the Dominica Infirmary. She was the mother of Richardson Saint-Hilaire, better known as Tic Tac, Elson Saint-Hilaire, better known as Meow, and Wallace Saint-Hilaire in St. Croix. She will also be remembered by her siblings, Ursula Francis in Woodford Hill, John Francis in Thibault, Titus Francis and Anita Francis in Portsmouth, Cuthbert, Daniel and Agatha Francis in the United States of America, Canute and Vera Francis in St. Martin, and Gervais Francis in Antigua. Relatives: Magdalene Daly and family, Shireen Vidal, Eltina Sablo and family, Vina Roya and family, DCS Daniel and family, Maxwell Vidal, Ellie Daniel, Rosalie Jules, and Maria Wilson in England. Caregivers, the management and staff of the Dominica Infirmary. Neighbors, Josiane Williams, Anne Daniel, Brenda Lee Prosper, and Ronald Williams and family. Many friends including Glorine Thomas, Eleanor Adams, Zilphia Germain, the members of the St. Joseph Seventh-day Adventist Church, and the community of St. Joseph.